Scientists recently discovered a glowing sea turtle near an island off the coast of the South Pacific. The species, known as the hawksbill, is said to be critically endangered, and scientists say that they have never seen a turtle like this in their lifetime. The scientists were initially looking for glowing sharks, according to one source, but ended up stumbling upon the glowing green and red body of the turtle, which one man likened to a UFO after seeing it underwater. Isn't it amazing what nature can do sometimes? Or nuclear waste, it could be that. Open to debate.
Converse is making some more updates to their shoes, the Chuck Taylor All-Star 2s. The company plans to roll out 2 new colors, a shade of gray called Thunder, and a shade of deep red called Bordeaux. The shoes will be released in high top and regular forms, and critics are approving, citing that these are the first new colors to be released since the shoes were updated in mid-July. So basically, Converse is just making slightly different colors for all of you hipsters to wear.
Rage Against the Machine bassist Tim Comerford recently apologized for inspiring the nu metal wave of music that inspired bands such as Korn, Linkin Park, and specifically he mentioned Limp Bizkit. He's quoted as saying, "I really am sorry about Limp Bizkit. I feel so very bad about inspiring such bull." He's also quoted as saying, "Thankfully, they're gone though, and Rage Against the Machine is still the only one that matters." But that's debatable. Well, Limp Bizkit isn't entirely gone. They've done a few songs with Birdman, and you know what? I think it's safe to say they're gone. And Korn has a dubstep album. What a wonderful world we live in.
Hello and welcome to Guerilla Sports News. My name is Nick Oob.
And I'm Jeff Champ.
Our first story comes to us from the campus of LSU, with LSU's last game against Eastern Michigan.
The game started off tight, but in the second half, LSU managed to pull away thanks to Leonard Fournette, who had his third 200-yard game in a row.
Fournette got no help from the passing game, as wide receivers were dropping balls right and left, which gave no help to Brandon Harris.
LSU jumped 2 spots in the AP Top 25, and for the first time since 2010, there's no SEC team in the top 6.
All right, I'm just going to put this out there. AP hates A&M. A&M probably right now, I hate to say it, but they're a little bit better than LSU. And they're still behind Bama, who has 1 loss. Granted, that 1 loss was against the quality Ole Miss team, and they just beat Georgia. But A&M has no losses in the SEC West. They're playing fantastic. Our next story comes to us from the New Orleans Saints, who got their first win against Dallas. Woo! And for the first time in about half a year, the Saints actually looked half decent.
Well, I actually think that the Saints have been looking pretty decent all year. They've lost 3 games, but the losses have come to a good Arizona team in 2 divisional games. And the Saints may as well be 3-1 instead of 1-3.
Still, for the record, this is the exact opposite of what we did in 2009, and you all know what happened that year, where we went 13-0 and then lost to the Cowboys. This year, we started 3-0 and then we won against the Cowboys. So,
Nevertheless, the Saints have an optimistic future.
That's all for Guerilla Wolves Sports News.
See you next time.
When I was hired a long time ago, 1999, we didn't have this litter problem. It is something that has grown along with the population of the school growing. It's important to me to keep things clean. My house is clean, my car is clean, and I feel like the school should be clean too. You look at this campus, trees, flowers, plants. This is a beautiful campus. This looks much more like a college campus than a high school. And I think a lot of people take that for granted. Where I went to high school, it was concrete and steel. We didn't have a whole lot of beauty like this. We didn't have a large number of students' mothers that would come out and work like they do here. I think students totally take it for granted, and they should be cleaning it instead of expecting other people to clean up after them. Maybe that's how it is at home. Maybe they're always picked up after by someone else, so they don't quite understand the importance of cleaning up their own trash. We try to teach them, but it's a very hard lesson to teach. It's something that you either understand or you don't. So I'll do my share, and that's about all I can do.
I care about littering on campus because I came from the lower 9th Ward, and when I was living there as a kid, everything looked beautiful. All the parents went out and they took care of things, and they kept the bushes looking nice, and it was the sort of place you wanted to be. After I left, it just became this terrible, horrible place to live, and it was all the people that lived there. They just would throw things on the ground, drain the oil out of their car in the front yard, and kill all the grass. You define your space, and so as you're walking around the campus, if you want the pleasure of living in a nice place, if you see trash on the ground, pick it up. If you have something to throw down, don't put it in the trash can. And what happens is that you create your own world, you create the environment that you want to live in. So do that. Decide what sort of place you want to live in, and then make it that way, and help other people live in a better place too.
Hello, St. Paul's. We have a really special interview today with pro parkour Logan Haydell. We're going to ask him a few questions, and while we're doing this interview, we're going to show you some awesome clips of his parkour tricks. First question, Logan, how long have you been parkouring?
That's a good question, Jacob. Probably I would say my whole life. You know, ever since I can remember, I was always thinking about, you know, when can I get some big air? When can I do some sweet stunts? It's all about the next trick. I've been doing this as long as I can remember. It's not a hobby. It's a lifestyle.
That is sick. What is going through your head when you are doing a parkour trick? What are you thinking about? Tell us.
Well, you know, Jacob, you know, when I'm out there, I'm in my zone, I'm blocking out the outside world. It's just, I'm in the moment. It's just me and my sweet, sweet tricks.
Inspirational! In this hardcore parkour lifestyle, have you gotten any serious injuries?
You know, back in the summer of '07, I remember I had a real bad ankle twist. And that was a real wake-up call for me, you know. It showed me the dangers of parkour. It showed me that this isn't a game. You know, this is much more serious than that. But from that injury, I grew spiritually much stronger. So I would say parkour has healed me much more than it has hurt me.
Logan, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on this show. Thank you so much for coming today.
The pleasure was all mine.
Hello and welcome to Guerilla Wolves Movie News. I'm Parker Lehman, and today we're going to discuss Interstellar 2. Well, not really, but this movie and that one both have Matt Damon stranded on an abandoned planet and Jessica Chastain. Coincidence? Probably. The movie I'm talking about is, of course, The Martian, starring Matt Damon, Jessica Chastain, Kristen Wiig, Jeff Daniels, and others. And what makes this movie extra interesting is that it's directed by Ridley Scott, who's known for really dark, gritty, and visceral movies such as Prometheus and Alien and Blade Runner. But this time he takes a more understated, slow-burning, and comedic approach to the sci-fi genre. This film is essentially Castaway in space with a needlessly star-studded cast. I mean, you got Sean Bean, who, number one, doesn't die, which is ridiculous, and is in a scene where they're talking about Lord of the Rings like he wasn't Boromir. And then you also have Michael Pena and Kristen Wiig in pretty much throwaway roles that anyone could have played. Wouldn't it have been cool if Matt Damon found a little Mars rock and then drew a face on it and named it Rocky or something? Actually, that'd be really stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about. The screenplay, written by Cabin in the Woods and Cloverfield scribe Drew Goddard, is laced with lots of humor while also balancing tension very well. Except this movie does get slow in some places, but it's saved by Matt Damon's comedic and very relatable performance. In another comedic role that was a very nice touch, we see Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, deliver a very nice and nuanced performance, to sound pretentious. Okay, so anyway, while the first two acts are kind of slow, the third act picks up very well and wraps it up very nicely, and I enjoyed it. I'd say it's a very welcome breath of fresh air during this doldrumic movie season. So I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10.
I thought our defense played great the second half. Those two turnovers were outstanding to start the second half. We kind of challenged them at halftime, and they met the challenge. And I was real proud of the effort the whole team put forth. It's great, always great to get that first district win.
I was very excited about how well we played and how we played consistently and scored both offensively and defensively. I'm about as happy as a Guerilla Wolf who finally got his video to run on Wolf TV.
It's great to bring it back to our school on a Friday, keep the tradition of a big homecoming win going. So it's definitely a great feeling, not only for the football team, but for the whole school.